Hey guys, Pete here, HVAC Greatness. If you don't do exactly what I tell you for your heating and air conditioning business, you will be affected in a negative way. I'm going to cover 5 key points right now that if you'll listen to me, it's going to make all the sense in the world. And a lot of you already know this because you've been following me for a while, but I'm starting to see other heating and air conditioning trainers and coaches begin to talk about the message that I've been talking about for a couple of years now. The economy is taking a slide. It's taken a while. It's given us time to collect ourselves and get ready for this. But what we are seeing is a market reaction from your competitors that you do not want to be caught dead doing. You got to change your strategy. Well, first of all, you need to have a strategy. And so I want to talk to you about these things right now. Item number 1, you absolutely, positively must be different. Heating and air, trying to be heating and air for everybody is being a generalist. And even if you do everything for heating and air for everybody, residentially, like commercial, maybe even in heavy commercial and industrial, you need to be different in a positive way, and most specifically in a way that people can personally benefit from, and they recognize that at that subconscious level. So that, my friends, requires a strategy. It requires a marketing position, a branding position. You got to be different. Guys, we do HVAC positioning strategy right here at HVAC. A lot of you guys ask me, Pete, what is it that you do? We do the strategy for your marketing position, your marketing, and your branding. Okay. Sounds vague, but basically, you got to have a plan. A 80-20 rule. 80% of the results that you get come from 20% of what you're focused on and doing on a consistent basis. Number 1, you got to have a strategy, and you got to be positioned differently than your competition. Give you a quick example. I know a guy, he's a friend on Facebook. He's been in business longer than I have. Longer before I even started my business, he already had his. He summed it up this way: we were willing to do the work that nobody else wanted to. And so here's what happened. When everybody else was going for the easy money, he would take on those difficult jobs. He charged for it, and he got the job done. So in his mind, he was doing things that his competition wasn't willing to do. In the customer's mind, he was able to do things that the other competition weren't capable of doing. In other words, he was better. You have to look at these things from the customer's perspective. Number 2, your pricing must be accurate. You probably saw that on the thumbnail. People don't know what your services cost, but they can quickly find out and compare it against certain things that are out there on the internet. And a lot of this is just not fair. It's not accurate. But your pricing is going to have to be accurate. If you're still using the gross profit method, you're behind. You don't know what your true break even for that job is. This is all one big average on gross profit. Not all jobs have the same overhead. Service is different than change outs. Maintenance is different than regular service. You got to dial this in. Again, he's got an HVAC product services based on net profit, not gross profit. What does that mean? You know exactly what your break even is and what you can afford to take that job for and what you can't. Guys, it's not that hard. Once you set your system up and you use this, you make one change, you make one hire, you update that information, and you are now up to date on your pricing. All the pricing instantly changes. Okay. All right. Number 3, you must be not just honest. You must be perceived to be honest. People are going to start to look for older companies, more reputable companies that have been around a long time and they have a good reputation in their markets. And you got to watch your Google reviews. If people are saying that you're too high, something's wrong. Maybe the customer is the problem, but maybe your processes aren't communicating your value. But fundamentally, if you are not perceived as honest, you're going to get hurt. Now, let me give you an example here. I remember telling my mother before she passed away about 7 months ago, 8 months ago. And I was telling her about what's happened in the economy. And she immediately responded, ooh, crime rate's going to go up. And she realized, because she grew up in a time before that was poor, that when there was less money out there was less work out there was less opportunity out there, crime went up. What do you think this is going to do to your competitors' sales tactics? They literally may just step in and lie, saying that what you, Mr. Homeowner, needs is this, because they need that sale so they can eat, so they can pay their bills. You cannot let that be you. Don't you ever get caught with a misdiagnosis that appears to be benefiting you personally and financially. You must have high integrity, honesty, and this affects who you hire. This affects your processes and their transparency. Guys, the game is changing. You got to make these changes now. This is why we, in our program, teach the consultative service call process. Okay? You can sell more stuff, not by selling more stuff, but by doing a more thorough investigation on the system's status. You'll find things that other people aren't noticing. Bring them to your customer's attention. You don't have to push it. You just bring it to their attention and explain to them what this means to them, and they'll make that decision themselves. But overall, by doing a better job and being a better communicator, you're perceived as more honest, and your average tickets go up. Same thing on the consultative sales process. This is not old school sales anymore. You must be able to communicate your value, and you must be transparent, and you must be perceived as honest. Honesty is huge. You must be packaged better. Listen, you need every competitive advantage that you can get of your competition right now. And perception is reality, guys. And you think, just because you know yourself, when you look in the mirror, oh, it's just me in that t-shirt with your shirt tails hanging out, holes in your jeans, scuffed up shoes, ugly beard like me, you know what I'm saying? Not well groomed, not everything else. When I mean packaging, I mean your branding, I mean your wrap. Okay. And don't run out there and do a wrap. Don't go out there and do a logo. Don't run out there and do that until you go way back to step one. And what is your marketing position? What is your strategy? How are you different in a positive way that people can identify from and it appeals to them personally? Rebranding is very important if you don't have the focus in a very specific strategy. Get your strategy together. And if it's a branding process, or it's a branding strategy, or it's an identity strategy, we brand. If it's a marketing strategy, we market. But the identity is really, really important. So you need to have vehicles that I don't mind writing a $20,000 check to. You pull up in this nice vehicle, nice uniform, nice young man comes out, good vocabulary, well-trained, packaged well, guys. I hope you're hearing me on this. This is huge. Because I'm concerned about the economy, about dishonesty, about people who are going to take advantage of me, I'd rather go with somebody stable and somebody who knows what they're doing. And my filters, my lenses of experience in life, he who looks more professional does more professional work. Is that true? Maybe, maybe not. In a lot of cases, your competition is using that look to trick their customers, not you. You come in with honesty and integrity, and you look the part. You look the better package. If your van is parked in the supply house parking lot and it does not outshine your competitors, it's time to rewrap. And it's time to do it now while you can afford it. Why am I preaching this? You guys know some of the brandings out there. I'm not going to say any names because I don't want to say anything overly positive or negative, but there is at least one or two companies out there. They do beautiful work. They do beautiful work, but they don't do it on a strategy, not an HVAC strategy. HVAC strategy is, what this requires is we have to understand our opportunities in our market. These guys understand branding and wrapping and how to make it all beautiful. You must come in and do the work with somebody who knows HVAC too, and strategize together as you discover the opportunities in your market that your competition has not yet even seen, not been aware of, or maybe they're aware of it, they don't know how to attack it. Got to be packaged better. And finally, you got to be committed to communicating the value of your services. I'm telling you, when the guy in the t-shirt, the smudged up t-shirt and the blue jeans comes in, you saw the lady on the thumbnail, and gives her a price of $400 or $500 and she's freaking out, it's because she's correlating that look and that level of service and to what she's getting. But if you pull in and you've communicated high value, we've talked about the packaging, but we also need to talk about your processes, the tools, sales tools, service tools. When you come in a nice vehicle and all of your processes are very clearly communicated to the customer, it communicates the high value and the services that you're offering, and you have a price book that you lay out and it's well branded. It's beautiful. It's easy. It's easy to understand. And there's my prices. You flip the book and you get pre-approved acknowledgement or upfront pricing so that you're talking to your customer and they're pre-approving what you're about to do. And you've explained everything beforehand because you have a process in place that does this. You don't get that surprise reaction. Okay. Negative surprises turn into negative emotions. And they're the ones that are going to come back and put those reviews on your Google reviews. Guys, as we go into this market, you need to fix this stuff. You need to address this stuff. If you have someplace else to go to get these things done, that's fine. Go do it. If you don't, I told you, we've got the strategy. We will build your brand. We will help you figure out your pricing, and we will build all your price books and sales tools for you, including a service technician sales process and including a sales process for your comfort advisor or comfort consultant. And we'll also talk to you, the owner, about how to get this strategy to work within your organization. There's a lot of different stuff out there, guys, and you got to look at your CRM. You got to look at all these different things. There's people out there that are going to teach all these things. What we're focused on right here at HVAC Greatness is we have to be better at standing out. We need to see your HVAC greatness, not your another HVAC competitor. That, in my mind, is you're just another commodity. Doesn't matter who puts in that train. It's the same equipment. That company can do it for cheaper than you. You got to break this. And those are the 5 tools that will get you there. Pete Ramsey, HVAC Greatness. Hope you like this. Talk to you on the next one. Bye-bye.